Okay, editing note, intro now. Alright, hello, welcome to the Whibs Zones Member Spotlight. The Whibs Zone is a Discord community geared towards content creator and creative folks in numerous areas of media, be it illustration, writing, voice acting, game development, streaming, YouTube content creation, and entertainment, crafts, even things like tabletop gaming and fitness. The concept of this community is to share our work, make connections and network, and help each other out. With that in mind, I decided to do a monthly member spotlight to showcase members of the Discord in a talk show interview format to talk about the things they are working on, the history behind what they do, and any helpful advice they'd like to give to the viewers. So with that, please, would you like to unmute yourself and say hello?
Hi.
Hello. Everything has gone so smoothly so far. Everything is just...
I told you, I'm cursed.
No. No. Okay, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
I am Sarah Grimalkin, or online known as JVNKCAT. It's not JVNKCAT, but it looks like that. So if you call me that, it's okay. I understand.
So, today I wanted to interview about a couple of things, mainly tabletop gaming and artwork. So, to start off, you have a big presence in the in Discord community and Twitter, with the tabletop channels and that kind of thing, and also art-related channels on the Whibzone Discord. Has tabletop gaming influenced or inspired you personally, and as well as your art?
It basically got me back into drawing after I had basically a very depressive downswing. My now fiance introduced me to D&D, and it just totally got me back into drawing because I was like doing the tokens on Roll20 and like drawing everybody's characters and doing this and that. And yes, definitely. It's like all I draw now.
That's wonderful. Yeah, good. On Twitter, you illustrate a lot of tabletop game-related art, as you just said. Are these related to games you've played personally, or other people's games, such as live plays on that are streamed?
I've done a little bit of Critical Role fan art and like Adventure Zone stuff in the past, but mostly it's just for my own games or games I'm a part of, or I guess I've done a couple of things for some things from Tabletop, which is a Discord that I'm a moderator and staff in.
And you listening to a game you played over the internet. What inspires you to draw a scene from that game? You mentioned Critical Role and Adventure Zone. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I understand.
Everything is falling. It was literally my minis falling off of the top of my little like shelf. I'm just like, great. That's how many I have. That's how noisy it is.
Did they roll initiative?
No, they just jumped right in. They're
Terrible.
dead now.
Oh no.
What inspires me to draw, I don't know, like, interesting character design, or if I just am really fond of a character, or shipping.
What's your current to go to ship right now?
Yasha and Bo, obviously. I say obviously, like that's not like it's no.
What makes you drawn to that little concept?
Oh, the cute girls. Also, just like no, their dynamic is cute. I'm actually extremely behind on Critical Role right now, so I can't speak for like current things except for like, you know, my timeline really likes to spoil me sometimes. I'm just like, oh, thanks.
Oh, I know.
But I'm on like episode 6 or 7 right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely.
I think there's like 80 now.
Yeah, there's like nearly approaching 30, I think.
Yeah, it like moves so fast. I'm just like, oh, I've got to go.
It does. But
eventually I'll catch up.
They're doing really good highlight videos by Danny.
Yeah, also I think D&D Beyond does text catch-up things. I might just read those because, like, I love Critical Role, but the episodes are very long, and I don't have that much time sometimes.
I see, yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Some sessions I take like about 3 hours. Oh boy.
Yeah, it's just real life D&D that they stream, so I totally get it. My sessions run like 5 to 6 hours sometimes.
Oh boy. So let's see. Oh yes, so we talked about art just now. Now, if you don't mind, is there any particular like artwork you'd like to like chat about? Let's see. Because you got your Twitter. You say you mainly post on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm not honestly not the best at talking about my art. I just kind of do it. I'm more of like a doodler, to be honest. I did draw a few things for FlameCon recently, some prints to sell. I could dig those up really quick.
Okay. Do not worry. I'll do some elevator music. Dun,
Elevator.
dun, 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 dun. Ah.
There, I am particularly fond of that one.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I've got this on your Twitter account as well, actually.
Yeah.
There we go.
And this isn't tabletop related, but I thought it turned out all right. Kind of tabletop related because I made basically a Gajinka of Sinistar as my main D&D character. That's another story.
Alright, let me change the scene. OBS.
Oh no, I killed it again.
OBS. You can do it. I believe in you. Clap your hands. For OBS.
Does it usually do this, or am I legitimately just cursed?
Well, to be honest, there is a typhoon flying over Japan right now, so that might have a hand in it.
That's the real curse.
That's the real curse of nature. Edit note from here. We'll talk about. Okay, yeah, so it's on screen now. It's the one with the goblin at the front. It's not. With the 2 daggers, the daggers. So yeah, you got the Mighty Nine.
You can tell by looking at the art how behind I am on the podcast.
It's nice. I really like how you got very vibrant colors and very, very exaggerated shapes and very good expressions. So do you?
Thank you.
Yeah, do you? This is really, really animated as well. What?
Yeah.
Did you formally study art?
I am completely self-taught. I did not take any classes or study anything, to be honest. It's more of a hobby-like thing. I was going for because I made this for prints for FlameCon, and there's this website called Cat Print where you can get holographic prints made, and I was like, all right, time to make this as obnoxiously bright as possible to go with the sparkle print.
Ooh, sparkle print. That's nice. So you said you did a con. Do you go to cons often to sell artwork?
Not really, to be honest. I've done anime conventions before, but I'm not really into anime anymore, so I didn't really have a whole lot to sell there. But FlameCon is a little bit of everything, and you know how D&D has kind of become gay culture, so there's a lot of D&D there. It was very fun.
Yeah. It's pretty cool to see it more about. I can English. More widespread. That's what I wanted. More widespread these days. Cool. All right. Let's look at the other one that you wanted to show. I think I can see it here. This one. Yes. So it's got a wonderfully this one with the blue face and he's grinning. Can you tell me about this one?
Oh, that's just Sinistar from the arcade game from the 80s.
Oh.
It's just fan art. I played the arcade game a lot when I was a kid at a laundromat. In between moving, we would just hang out at the laundromat and wash our clothes and stuff. I think I was I was 8 or 9, I guess. And then years later, I was just trying to come up with a character for my friend's D&D session. Because she wanted me to guest in as a villain, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a space lich. And I was just thinking, I was like, oh, what if I just make Sinistar as a space lich? That would be fun.
A space
lich? Yeah. I think there's actually something like that in the books now. Yeah.
Space lich. Cosmic lich. That's cool.
Yeah. Whenever I finish the sheet, I'll share it with you if you want it.
That'd be wonderful. I'm very interested. Okay. Alright then, let's see. Is there anything else you'd like to show? I got your...
Not really. I'm not super the best at sharing my art. I guess you could look at my Twitter if you want to zift through anyone
well,
watching.
Speaking of Twitter, I've written her link on the page there, so you can have a look yourselves, boys and girls, and other peoples. Okay. Okay. Let's pray to all the OBS gods that this would work now.
Pray tell OBS gods.
It did work. It did work. Alright, cool. Let's see then. So Twitter and Tumblr have quite a big community of artists that are drawn to, you know, tabletop fan art. Do you remember when it started becoming a huge following like it is now? Was there a steady growth, or was it just like a boom?
Oh, you mean the community in general?
Yeah.
I started playing D&D about 2 years ago to the day. So I didn't watch it become super duper popular, but I think it was really thanks to like Critical Role in the Adventure Zone or any of those like more mainstream like shows and stuff. And like, because most people that I talk to who are new to it are like, oh yeah, I watched the Adventure Zone or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, it's fun. That does set expectations really high for real D&D because real D&D isn't like the Adventure Zone, but it's very fun to listen to. But I'm not sure when it got super popular, like in a burst. I think it was a little bit before I started playing. I actually listened to the Adventure Zone after I started playing.
Yeah, I was introduced to the Adventure Zone by a friend. We'd both played like D&D for a while, but I'd never listened to other people play. I'd always just, you know, I never realised it was a form of entertainment, like TV almost. And it's essentially like a radio play if you don't actually see what's happening too. So this is all a new experience. It's like, I think Adventure Zone was the first one I listened to.
Yeah, it's definitely a good place to start.
Yes, it's very good. Those brothers and daddy. They're good boys.
Yeah, the good boys.
They're good boys. Let's see now. Yes. So more people flowing into the community leads to a lot more diverse fans. How do you think this has affected tabletop gaming?
I think that it has directly affected it because like I follow all of the like official D&D accounts and stuff, and like all of the people running games on their official Twitch or the people they've even brought in as community managers and stuff. They have a huge variety of people. Like there's women and non-binary people in the community that are directly working on the game now and stuff, and it's really great to watch. It's like there's always gonna be like if you go to like your local game store to play a game, you might still have issues if you're not just a dude, I guess. But like it feels more welcoming overall, and I think that the community's headed in the right direction.
That's great, yeah. I mean, coming into I think like Twitter and that one be coming into contact with lots of different people, and the nature of Twitter. There's so many people you can talk to suddenly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Actually, because come to think about it, because now, like, tabletop gaming has become like an online form of entertainment as well. Have you made a lot of friends like because of tabletop gaming?
Yes, many. A lot of the people that I play D&D with now are like really old friends, but then like I met a lot of people through Final Fantasy 14 that I now play D&D with, and like through friends of friends or whatever. Like I'll probably keep mentioning Charity Top this whole time. Yeah. But that's a really cool community, and like I've met a lot of people through there, and I play games with them. I'm running a game tomorrow actually. It's gonna be fun.
Yes. And
stream it. My first time streaming a game. I'm a little nervous, but I think it'll go okay.
It'll be fine. Just punch OBS.
OBS just starts screaming like the curse continues.
But yeah, actually that was a good segue, because I'll just slide into this question. So you're a part of a D&D community that you just mentioned, Charity Top.
Yes.
Can you please tell me all about it?
I can. Charity Top is it's a gaming community for tabletop games, mostly D&D right now, to be honest. But they have a bunch of shows. Well, we're working. I recently got added to the staff list. I just like slowly crawled my way up to the top of the little Discord list, I guess. But we are working on different shows and stuff, and we want to build the community up, and like, you know, people can donate to charity through like watching and everything on Twitch. It's very cool. Right now we have a... Oh, go ahead.
No, please continue.
Okay. Right now we have a show I'm on called DM Discussions, where we talk about like what it's like to be a dungeon master, and we like troubleshoot with people in the chat, can ask questions and stuff. And then there's a community game, or not a community game, but a game that the community leader runs. I think that's on Sunday. And we're working on other shows as well, but right now those are the only 2 shows we have.
Oh, that's sweet though. You know, you slowly build up your roster. I'm excited to actually. What I'll do as well in the YouTube editor's note, in the YouTube video, I will link everything as well, so everyone can like view at their leisure. So how did Charity Stock get started? Do you know?
I think it was just Max, the person who started it, just kind of like his passion project. From what I understand, he's always wanted to make a difference and play D&D with a lot of people. And yeah, I'm not super duper sure of the origins. I think he just wanted to start a community. It seems pretty new. Like when I joined, it was pretty new as well. I just boosted it as much as I could. And it's gotten pretty big since I've joined too, so I'm really excited. Through various people in the community that have like, you know, their friends join, and then it's just like a big party.
That's cool. Yes, I'm sure it'll grow and grow and grow as the time goes on. It's exciting to see. But more questions about that kind of thing in the future. Do you think changes in how social media over the years has helped shape tabletop gaming? I mentioned this a little bit earlier, and I asked you a bit. But do you think specifically like platforms like Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds? I do believe that's another similar thing. And you've got...
I've never heard of that one, but Roll20 definitely, because when you have people like playing D&D, you've got your nerds in there, and a lot of us are very socially awkward. It's hard to go out and play. And with Roll20, you can just kind of play at your computer, and you can also play with people all over the place. Like my games are mostly people from, like, one of my players lives in Australia, so you know, bring people together. It's like any online type thing. And I did touch on that earlier about like social media changing the community and everything, and you know, like it's good for the most part. I've seen some negative things kind of recently, but the good definitely overpowers the bad.
That's good. I mean, there's also like online resources as well that's helped quite a lot. There's like another one like World Anvil. That's a new one. You can like basically helps you create a world for a campaign, and you can add all the lore to it, and it's like a big file.
Now you're teaching me.
Ooh, let me show you the ways. Now I'll link all this as well, all the things I've mentioned, if I remember. Editor's note. So, do you think changes in how social media over the years have helped shape I've just read this one. Thank you. Editor's note. Get rid of that. Online live play. Delete it. Online live plays such as Critical Role have been credited with helping D&D to become more open to a wider audience. How has this positively affected your experiences with tabletop gaming?
Well, I mean, that is true. Especially with the second season of Critical Role, it's a lot more diverse with the characters themselves. I actually haven't really watched the first season, but I've seen the characters and stuff. And like, you know, just having more of a diverse cast in your game itself, and having like varying NPCs or whatever, that helps, like, you know, interest other people who wouldn't normally play like a nerdy role-playing game, I guess. And you know, I've just met more people because more people are interested, and you know, the more popular something gets, the better it is to me, to be honest. I know a lot of people will be like, I remember when D&D was this or that, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Let it get more popular. I want to see more people. Make more friends.
Yeah, I mean, thinking back as well, I mean, I started think I started playing university. I was like early 20s, and it's just me and a bunch of other white people. You know, like our circle of friends are a bit smaller back then. But you know, online I've gotten to meet so many different people from all over the world, different time zones and different backgrounds, and it's pretty cool because they bring different things to the table as well. Things
Yeah,
I wouldn't
for
even
sure.
imagine is pretty cool. Let's see. There have also recently been folks within the tabletop community, one very, very recently as well, that have tried to gatekeep against new fans. There's one past example, which is D&D Gate. What are your thoughts on that?
Big sigh is what I felt on that. I don't like I was just saying, like, you know, not everybody is going to want to play this nerdy role-playing game. Like, a lot of my friends tried it, didn't like it because it was just, like, awkward, like, sitting in a call or whatever, doing, like, silly voices. You're shy, you're this or that, but you can still enjoy content without being directly involved with it. Like, I really like certain video games I've never played. That doesn't mean that it's like, oh, I'm not allowed to retweet this fan art because I've never played Yakuza or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think gatekeeping is stupid. I think everyone should just be able to enjoy the content if they want to.
Yeah, I've always wondered where that comes from as well. Like what mentality it comes from.
It comes from that same mentality I was talking about a minute ago, where like people are like, well, when D&D was this or that, like before it was super popular, but you know, we were still playing in our mom's basement or whatever. It's like, it's just like they want it to be theirs and not anyone else's, I guess. They don't want to share. Or they feel like people don't understand their, what's the wording? Like, experience, I guess, if they don't personally experience, like, RPing and, like, rolling the dice or whatever. I don't know. That's the best I could come from it. But it might come from a more hateful place. I can't relate. Yeah. So I don't know.
Well, I do hope, like, because the community is really big and generally is really positive as well. I like how they handled particularly the D&D Gate thing, the hashtag on Twitter. Someone started basically describing a gate in a D&D setting.
Yeah, I saw that before I saw the actual, like, mean hashtag, because that's who I follow. I don't see all those negative Nancy's. I was just like, okay, now I've got to go into the tag and try to find what's happening. Like, instead of this negative thing, let's do this cute thing.
Yeah, was it by...
Great.
Oh, yeah, Richard August 1 on Twitter, that was it.
Yes, and, like, all of something else that really helps this community is the people who are popular chip in and are good allies, basically. It's really great. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, I'm really good that I did notice a lot that the tabletop community bands together very well as well to try and drive a more positive reaction to things rather than just continuing churning stirring the pot, which is great.
Yeah, or ignoring it, which can be just as bad. And it's honestly really hard to stand up and say something or like just be positive sometimes. And it seems like the positivity just outweighs all of the negativity. So it all works out sometimes, for the most part. Like I said, I hadn't even seen the negative D&D Gate hashtag. I saw the cute one first.
That's good. I'm glad. Yeah, there are like quite famous figureheads as well, I would say, that have spoken out against it and tried to basically steer away from the negative stuff, like Matt Mercer. He's spoken out about it. Lee, all the Critical Role staff as well, and also D&D Beyond staff. White Wolf, not White Wolf, sorry. Wizards of the Coast staff, they've also spoken out against it too, which is very important.
There's a newer show I haven't taken the time to watch. I think it's called Hell's Bells.
Oh, yeah?
On the official YouTube. It's like the All Tiefling campaign, which is like, why haven't I listened to it yet? Honestly, right up my alley. Hello. But no, like they get a lot of flank because they announce their pronouns at the beginning of the show, and they had to actually disable comments on the YouTube videos because there were so many hateful people. And I'm just like, I look at, like, I was like, all right, let's check it out. So I click on it on Twitter, and it's all just like positive, like, oh, I can't wait for the next episode. Oh, I like how it's all tieflings. That's cool. Oh, I like the art. Oh, I like this character. And then YouTube, you go there, and it's just like comments disabled because of the negativity. So it's like I said, a long way to go, but like in the right direction.
Yeah, but there is positive, notable positive steps, which is awesome. Oh, hello, Jake Bob. Welcome to the chat. Oh, you said I've got the. Oh, I see. Here's the idea is I got here first, therefore I'm better type of mentality. I see. Yeah.
Oh,
from the old guard. Yes. Now let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Where am I? Because of how streamed shows such as Critical Role, now, I mean, I just mentioned it because the most well known, are now consumed, like on Twitch and other streaming, like Alpha as well, that they've created with Geek and Sundry. I've seen people become tremendously attached to characters and become very protective of them. Molly, as also like critical of the. Actually, no, wait. This I might change this question a wee bit, but as also critical of the players' choices. Now, because people become very, very attached, like as if they are like their best friends or people they know personally, like that kind of attachment as well. Especially things like Marisha got some in the first campaign as Keyleth. There's a lot of like negative feedback against how her character was, with basically her character's choices and stuff.
Can you give me like a quick example, because I didn't watch the first season? Like, why were people so critical of Keyleth?
There was basically how she approached situations, and it's very much like how Bo at the beginning of Critical Role as well, very similar attitude towards her. And some people just say, no, it's just her.
Oh, and wait, they're played by the same person as well, aren't they? Yeah, okay. Well, was there more to the question on that one? Or I could start elaborating. I have a lot to say about that. People are crazy.
Okay, what advice then can you give to people who feel very attached?
It's not your character. It's not, you don't have any ownership over the character. It's very flattering to have someone that much into your work, but like obviously Marisha, is that her name? She has a specific way of playing, and that's how she has fun, and in the end they're just streaming their D&D game. There might be some things that are staged here and there because it is like a performance. Like the Adventure Zone, I can almost guarantee you like a lot of that was like they talked about that beforehand. There were curveballs, of course, but like when it's a show, yeah, but they're also, especially with Critical Role, it seems like they're just playing D&D, and I think it's like foretelling how the episodes are like 4 hours long, that they're just playing D&D, and like that's honestly people's reactions to that is why I haven't streamed or shared a lot of my games, because I would love to share my personal session that I run, like it's my baby, but I would be like afraid of someone like criticizing one of my players or criticizing something I do as a DM, because people are really harsh, not because they're hateful, but because they're really into something. And my advice, I guess, is to just let go, let them play the game.
Yeah. I mean, there have been a lot of people like use the energy that they have, like the feelings towards a character, and they pour it into other things, like artwork. Do you think that's a very good way to like almost like a therapeutic way to try and let go of those feelings, the strong feelings that they have?
Write some fan fiction, draw some fan art, make a comic, and then share it with people, and they'll relate. I guess another thing about like watching a D&D like show or podcast is like, especially if it's true to the dice, like if something happens in that game that you don't agree with, like it was the dice's fault. The players didn't like, choose that. Like I'm trying to skirt around. Okay, like player deaths and stuff. Like,
yes.
like people were like upset about that, and I'm like, they're playing a game. It sucked. It really sucked. I listened to the clip and I got very upset, and like it really really sucked. Yes, but like they're playing a game, and you can't be mad at them for like playing the game.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, anyway. And like the fact that it kind of came left field, it's like, oh yeah, well that's very D&D. The one player character death I had in my session was almost like dumb. Like it just kind of happened by accident, you know? That's just very D&D, and I like that, honestly.
Yeah.
Even if it's a little sad to listen to.
So you've DM'd, right? You DM quite often in the past.
I DM like mainly just my personal game. And I'm DMing tomorrow, like I said, for the first time on a stream for Charity Top, which I'm slightly nervous about, but hopefully it goes well.
It'll be fine. No, it will. It'll be good. So, has there been any moments in your real games like that? Like you've had to do as a DM, make really hard decisions, or had to go through with the consequence due to player action? Has there been moments like that?
I have a player, and he actually retired his character the other week because, like, he approached me and said, I want to play an evil character. I don't want to be malicious, but I want to double cross the party at some point. So I gave him opportunities to, like, you know, work with the bad guys and this and that, and he kept playing his character like a good guy while he was trying to be a bad guy. Okay. And he eventually just dug himself into a hole, and I felt really bad because like he was trying, but he just kept making the wrong decisions, and I did have to stay true to like how the NPCs would act and stuff. I felt like partially responsible that he retired his character and then made a new one, but I was like, no, I've got to stick to it. He wanted to do this and I wanted to do this. And honestly, and as a DM, like sometimes I cheese rolls in favor of the party. Like, they were fighting a zombie beholder semi-recently that should have killed one of the players, but I cheesed the roll, so I did not kill them. Like, it was like, it wasn't supposed to be a deadly encounter, so like, I would have felt really bad if they had like, died in that. It wouldn't have meant anything. Like, with the character death we're skirting around here, like, that meant something, how it was presented, but it would not have meant anything if one of my players had died to a zombie beholder in a side quest.
Oh, yeah. Is it, like, is your games, like, very story-driven? Do you try to give each character, like, their own, like, goals, or do you drive them in some place?
The whole session is based off of the players. I have a vague idea of what I wanted to do, and then I got the players in there and asked them about their characters and everything, and like almost every quest has to do with their backstories in some way or another, and that's just how I enjoy DMing personally. I don't have like some grand story to tell. I actually had like a villain like league, I guess, and I ended up scratching them completely to do something that the players would like be more invested in and care about, I guess. Yeah. So I just kind of rewrite things for them constantly.
Yes, players do like to derail your plans. But is it being like moments where you like improvisation is very important skill to have as a DM?
I actually have a hard time going off of notes or plans at all.
Oh.
Yeah, like I think it's just some sort of block I have. Like the game I'm running tomorrow, I was going to just run out of a book. Like it was a module called Potions 11. It's like a heist. Yeah, and it's a really good module, and I played it as a player before, and then I was looking at it and I was trying to absorb the information, and I was like, I can't do this. So I was just like, okay guys, bump your characters up to level 15, I'm gonna make my own thing. And so now I'm just like writing my own thing based off of like a potion heist module. Sweet. So like almost everything I come up with is improvised because I have a hard time like absorbing information from modules or even like remembering my own notes, to be honest. So I just come up with things on the fly, and my players have honestly said they're kind of impressed by it, and I'm like, I'm just playing. Sorry.
That's what it is, really. It's just back to the childhood years when you were running around a play school playground and just playing.
At 26 years old and just doing the same thing.
It's the same
I just
thing.
don't have my back just hurts if I run around too long now.
How about as a player? What's your favorite like moment as a player?
Oh, so many. I played before I DM'd, and oh, that's hard. I'll just tell like my very first D&D experience because this is fun. We were in like a cave system, and we were it was like, I don't know if it was out of the book, but it was like there's an evil drow and there's like a cult and all that. So it was very like out of the book thematically. And the party and I, against the DM's like discretion, we went into basically the boss room first.
Yeah.
Because we were so sure, like, oh, we want to go this way. And my character went in, and I, like, again, baby's first D&D session, she goes in, and she starts flirting with the boss, dressed as a cultist. And the rest of the party's outside, and the boss had, like, a displacer beast, so the rest of the party is out there fighting that while my character's just in there flirting. And then the boss kind of, I think she was a drow priestess, which is really tough for level 1 characters. I think we were level 1 or 2. I don't remember, but we she kind of like caught wind of like what was going on outside, and she like, I think she cast a lightning bolt and knocked out the whole party except for my character and then an NPC we had saved. So my character and the NPC were just like fighting this drow priestess for like 6 rounds. Like he's tanking and I'm just like hitting her in the back with a dagger. It was just like one of the most like this I am playing D&D moments ever. And then the NPC got knocked out and then I was just 1v1ing her and I barely like beat her. I had like 2 HP left. So that could have been like a total party wipe for my first dungeon.
That is amazing. That's quite like an impactful like memory to look back on as well.
Yeah, I always like telling that story because it's goofy too, because I would never play a character that's like, oh, I'm gonna go in and flirt now. Like, that's not... I have more meaningful characters now.
You always have to make one though, everyone. They have to make that bard.
Yeah, I remade her and she did end up being a bard. She should have always been a bard, but baby's first was a thief rogue because that's the most true of my first D&D character.
What's your longest character, like longest play character?
That character
that
probably.
Character.
Because I was at first I was really attached to this one character. Her name is Thea. Mm-hmm. And like I just kept remaking her when the sessions would go bad or like we would restart. I would just remake her again and again, and like I did eventually branch out, and now every time my friends are like, oh, let's run a one shot, I'm just like, all right, here's my new idea, and it's something stupid every time, just some joke that I take too seriously. But I played her until recently, actually. Like last month is whenever I was finally like, okay, go lay down. I just really wanted her to like get to level 20 and like have that, but it's honestly kind of hard to find a game where like you actually get to the end, I guess. Because shit happens.
Yeah, my current longest character, I don't expect her to survive until old age.
Which character?
Oh, she's a half-orc barbarian fighter.
Oh, right, her.
He's a struggling alcoholic, has basically
orcs also don't live very long.
They don't live very long.
My like main character, I guess, is the tiefling warlock as my icon and my everything, but I think that's the one that's gonna make it to level 20.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I hope that I forgot her name. I can see it, but I can't remember how to hopefully she makes it to level 20 and doesn't die of alcoholism or something. Or half-orc.
Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, she has to do wisdom saving throws every time she goes to a pub.
Oh my god, that's so good. What's her wisdom mod, though?
Oh gosh, I can't remember right now. It's not very good. She's not wise. But she's once she ended up in an alleyway, completely surrounded by bottles of drink, and just like someone woke her up in the morning by kicking her. Oh
my god, it can be fun to play a character like that, but also nerve-wracking. It's like, make a wisdom save, and you look at you're like 5 your 5 total score, and it's like, all right, I guess I'll do that.
Yeah. Well, one thing that was interesting that came out of a very similar situation with her was the next morning with a big hangover. The paladin discovered lay on hands is very good for hangover cure.
Oh my god, yes, the paladin will save your life.
So she made friends that day.
Mm.
No, I don't expect her to get to level 20 because she currently was she's on a redemption like quest that she's been given by her emperor because she used to be ex-military, you see.
Ew.
And she was dishonorably discharged. Cough. And...
Oh no!
Oh no!
Is your DM like, is it like the kind of game where like players have died a lot or at all?
Not in this campaign, no.
Okay. Well, yeah. She's got a chance.
Maybe. She nearly died. Like, the Emperor nearly offed her in one hit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is why I didn't, like, write long-term goals for her. I'm trying to think.
Oh no, she's
now.
So relatable!
So today, it's like day by day, and her theme tune in my head is Blaze of Glory by Bon Jovi.
Oh my god!
Yeah, she's the ones I'm most attached to, though. Even though
somebody said an orcaholic. Oh my god.
That's fantastic. I'm going to use this. And hello, Karina. Hello. Now let's see. I'm going to ask chat actually if they've got any questions for you. So chat, if you have any questions, please let me know. In the meantime, I'll have a read of what chat's been going on, talking about. Oh, thank you very much. Let's see. Chat. There's a lot of chatting going on. Val's teen groups have wanted to do that. I'm assuming. A very diverse group. And you're nervous they would receive flack online. Oh, I see, streaming. So you've been very resistant. Yeah, I see. Yeah, and also, like, online has its own risks too, with you can't control what other people say to you and how they respond to you online. So
yeah,
you have to teach
that can be, like, back and forth. I feel like in real life I have a harder time being like, what the hell did you just say? Like, online I'm just like, you. Be gone. Block button.
Block. Yeah.
Can't block them in real life.
Especially you have to teach the younger generation to like be able to cope with how to handle random people coming in as well.
Yeah, people are like, oh, kids are so sensitive now, and I'm like, they just have a lot more to like deal with. People are mean.
I think you would never really come like back in the day, sitting in your living room with your D&D pals. You wouldn't have a random bloke come into your living room, just burst through the door and go, "You're a turnip," and then run away.
That would definitely, there would be more problems than like answers on that one, really.
Who's this guy? No, yeah, but with like these days with the internet, anyone could just barge in and say horrible things to you.
And you can block them, but what they've said is still there.
Yeah, you have to teach people how to cope with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jake Bob said there's a group of half-orc barbarians from a couple years ago who died so often he caught a deity's notice. Oh, hi. That sounds really interesting. Gave them their blessing. That's cool. Val's killed too many characters. Val. I'm shocked. Val's been on a murderous rampage, a PC rampage. Oh no.
I only killed one player by accident, and it was the worst. I like cried. The party decided to fight a group of goblin bards that were supposed to be a joke. They were literally named the Baja Blasts and had Taco Bell food name items. Like, it was a joke, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna fight them. And me being a new DM, I was like, oh, okay, I'll make some sheets really quick. And I didn't balance it properly. And they, like, annihilated the group. And I felt so bad. It went so terribly.
Oh, no. Apparently experiencing a bit of lag. Eek. Well, we'll be wrapping up soon. As let me just type in chat then. Questions? Do you have any? Best insult ever. Or the turnip one. Alright, okay, let's see if there's a chat has any questions. Editing note. Please remind yourself to cut this bit while we wait. What else? What's my recent characters? I'm playing a level 1 gnome. Or level 2 now.
The warlock one.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, she's fun to play because my angle.
She's so cute.
Yeah, my angle is that she's completely green, like woke up from a dream one day and decided to be an adventurer.
Oh my god.
She used to be a shoe cobbler, so her weapon is a hammer.
Oh my god. My newest character is well, my newest long-term character, because I make one-shot characters like every day. His name is Skip, and he's a treasure hunter, and he's a human draconic sorcerer. And he would die for treasure. Like, he does things like, they were kidnapped by Drow in the Underdark, and he, like, cast light on a ring and threw it down a hallway to, like, see and stuff, and then he was like, well, I've got to get my ring back now.
Oh, there goes a question. From Jig Bob about best thing. Let's see. How do you handle any potential in-party alignment clashes?
I make them talk about it in character. I give them some sort of scenario where they have to talk it out. I'll like isolate the characters from the rest of the group somehow with combat or whatever. And like and if it's like I was saying before, like one of my friends ditched his character and made a new one because like his character was clashing too hard with the party. He was trying to be an evil character but was doing it very poorly. So he was just like, I'm gonna make a new character. But like so sometimes people will walk away from it and it won't work out. But other than that, you just have to put them in scenarios where they can talk it out in character so it doesn't become like a table problem. You know, I've seen that happen before as well.
Yeah. It's very hard sometimes especially when someone is playing a character well, or very similar to how their own personality is. That people like the
That's
they're like
definitely a problem I had.
Yeah, oh,
they don't
close
play
to
with us anymore.
I see.
It was that's also the hardest, is like kicking someone who's not working out. Like everyone comes to the table with anxiety because of this person and their character, and I'm just like, all right, we're gonna talk it out of character. And then that didn't work out either, and I was like, all right, you have to leave, I'm sorry.
It's tricky. I mean, the danger is, of course, is someone taking it too personally. That's so awkward. Okay. You've killed 12 characters, Val. In the last
oh my
2
god,
years.
you got a kill counter up.
Val has tasted.
You're only growing stronger. Yeah, only growing stronger.
Because you plays bad choices. So if bad choices are fine, I think, you know, as long as they understand that D&D does have consequences, and they're not personal because it's all like the luck of the dice. Oh gosh, 12. I'm scared of you now, Val. Also question. Let's see. How do you handle goofiness that derails your plans? Players that turning an entire session into chasing something completely non-relevant.
You make that non-relevant thing relevant. Easy as that for me, to be honest. I don't have any set in stone plans. My session has bullet points. I have an arc for each character in the party, and I have a group of bad guys, and each of them is linked to one of the players, and I have a big bad boss, and that's it. Everything else is filled in by the players. So it's like improv and just improvising and stuff to the max. Like, that's just how I run my games. Like I was saying before, I have a hard time running out of books or like keeping to any of my personal plans, so I just make it up as I go.
Yeah. And also it differs between a one-shot and a campaign as well. Like, you got to get some limited time in a one-shot.
Yeah, watch my one shot tomorrow go completely off my own rails, and I'll just be like, all right, guys, hold on, let me make a sheet.
Okay, I think this is all the questions from the chat then. Let's see. Oh, there you go, there's one more. Jacob says, I've seen it happen a couple of times too. Everyone liked the characters because they were evil. Oh, this is referring to character clashes. But the way people worded things made that guy a bit self-conscious. Ah, okay.
Aww. I tried to be, for the person who wanted to play an evil character, well, I'll explain the character because it's funny. His name was Corin Uptcop, and he was a fake detective who used to be a crime boss and faked his own death, and he's looking for his lost lover / partner. And like, so he was like a crime guy, and he's like, he's always a detective pretending to be an adventurer. And it's just, it's so complicated. Just that, like, me saying that is like, what? So from the get-go, he's got this going on, and he's like, you know, talking with the criminal underworld, which I had to make for him in this world that I have. I just like, you know, like I said, just improv to the max. And like, his character just clashed really poorly with the rest of the party, but all of the players really liked the character. And, you know, in the end, he's like, I'm going to make a more friendly character this time. And his character faked his death again and left the party.
No.
He got NPC'd super hard, and I have such big plans for that character now.
Ah. That's interesting.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
Fun stuff. Alright, so next set of questions really goes on about like future plans. Now, you said you are streaming tomorrow. Would you like to share details about that?
It's going to be on the Charity Top Discord or a Discord stream, so I'll link that to you so you can put it
I shall, yeah.
elsewhere. Yeah, and the premise of that is, like I said, originally it was just going to be this module that I had played before called Potions 11. And it's actually in the same, what I like to do is I do overbuild the background of my world for myself because I'm having fun, and a lot of it the players never see. So the idea with this was to have some players play something that happened in the background, and maybe they can even change it and see how it goes. Because it's like a pretty important event, I guess, in the world. So I was like, oh, this gives me a chance to work with people because that's my favorite. And the whole, like, the hook is like, you've got like this dashing elf that just wants you to put this evil potion seller out of business. Spoilers, the module has nothing to do with that at all. That's just what they think they're going to do. But yeah, that's basically what I've got on that.
Cool. Is this going to be like a weekly thing?
I'm hoping that we have weekly one-shots soon as a show on Charity Top. But right now, we're still kind of putting things together. I'm moving in the next couple of weeks, so that kind of puts a few things on hold as well with my personal planning on the channel. But, yeah, we'll get there.
So, Charity Shop then, is there any, like, specific things that you're planning?
There is one thing that I'm in the works with that I haven't really talked about publicly, but I want to do weekly sketch streams, and all of the proceeds would go to our chosen charity. Right now we're supporting NAMI Communicate, but that's something I want to get going. I have like an iPad right now though, and that's like terrible to try to stream from, so I've got to get a different setup. But I thought it would be fun to do D&D themed or tabletop themed sketch commissions and then give all the proceeds to charity. That's one thing I want to do. We want to do weekly community one-shots where anybody in the community can just hop into a game, because we have about 4 or 5 DMs now, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that we're going to, like I said, we're working on a lot of things right now. It's a little up in the air. But yeah, that's what we've got going on right now.
That's cool. It's nice that you got the like charity thing going on as well. Is that so? You people within the community just choose their charity that they wish to donate to?
No, we usually pick a charity and we donate to them for a while, and we'll switch it up after a bit. But right now, NAMI Communicate, which is all about mental health.
Mental health.
Which is something I see a lot of people struggling with in this community, honestly. So it was a good charity to pick. I think Mac picked that one.
Okay. All right, well, I'll share the
link
details
that
for that
as
as well. Yes. Editing notes. These will all be linked.
Me linking you hundreds of things. I'll just link the Twitter, because the Twitter has all of the information.
Excellent, thank you. All right, so let's see. Is there any like final tips or advice you'd like to share about D&D or DMing or even building characters?
Oh, that would be a whole different thing for me. It's just building characters. Can I link the Discord and the Twitch chat now for?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Cool.
Actually,
it would be awesome if you could do that.
I think you can't. Wait a minute, let me.
Okay. It's
share with
just send a star in our DMs.
Aha! I got it. I'll link Charity Top now.
Character building is my favorite. Built off of NPCs and the players. So yes, I really like character building and stuff.
So
okay,
yeah, there you go. I put it in the chat.
The Twitch has the link to the Discord, which I would love for you guys to all join if you play D&D, or even if you don't, maybe just come hang out anyway.
Yes.
Come listen to OCs.
Do the thing. So yeah, so particularly with characters. So for example, I've never role played before. What like advice would you give me about role playing a character? I want to make a strong character. How would I think about like what advice would you have me think about like for background building or concept of a character?
Well, what got me into finally making my characters, like I said, my first character was just like, haha, I'm stealing and flirting. And so, like, my fiance, who again got me really into D&D to begin with, he was like, let's roll for a backstory. And I was like, oh, okay. So I think that you look at you pick a background, and I guess for a strong character, depending on what you've got going on, I'd be like, okay, pick Outlander or whatever, and then you can, like, roll physical dice for different backgrounds, like 1 through 6 and whatnot. I mean, you know this, but just to explain.
Yes.
And like and like if they don't like any of the options, you can like suggest things for the background, and you've got your basis with your 5 different like your bonds, flaws, and whatnot. And that's what helped me build my character. My very first one. And I ended up like I said, originally like honestly shitty rogue. And like I started rolling for the backstory, I picked the noble background because I wanted her to be like a runaway noble. And then from there, she morphed into my joke character because I just made her like the last unicorn. Yeah, her name was Thea, Amonthea, the unicorn. Yeah, so she ran away from home because her tiefling boyfriend sucked, and he was supposed to look like the bull. So like, I guess like my advice is just like, roll for your background and make a joke. That's what I do anyway.
Also, I'd like to take note as well, like, a lot of people, like, watch, live plays, expecting home games to be like that. Could you tell me, like, your experience with home games, like, how they would differ?
Well, one thing is for sure that like every DM is going to be different. I don't have any DMs who run the same. I personally, before I started DMing, didn't even read any of the books. I just based it off of what other people did, which is terrible. I've gotten to the point where I'm good now, but like it was not good at first. But you can't. I guess like from the get-go, I'd be like, listen to this podcast, but don't expect D&D to actually be like this because this is a performance and D&D is a game. Yeah, and especially like new people want to RP but can be kind of awkward about it or not good at it at first. And like you just have to like, let people come into their own. And some people never will. It's just not their strong suit. One of my sessions, the RP can be a little awkward, so we have some text chats in our Discord so we can text chat RP in between sessions to like solidify things that happened in case someone got a little awkward in the session.
Oh, that's a good
idea. That sort of thing helps. But yeah, I guess like the closest like I've seen any D&D session be to like in comparison to like a performative thing would probably be my session, because sometimes we just sit there and RP for 3 hours instead of doing anything else. And that's just what Critical Role seems like sometimes, I guess. Like, it's just like time to role play.
Sweet. Yeah, good. Now that text, like to resolve some like threads of RP after the game is a good idea.
Yeah, I would recommend that to anyone. My session has like 7 different chats, because sometimes they all start going off, like, and I'll leave them in a place where they can RP downtime as well, and I'll just read over it, and sometimes I'll ask them to make rolls or whatever, and it's honestly like it's really added to the experience if you have people like with the I guess the spoons or the spell slots to do that and keep going after the session. It can be really fun.
Yeah, I have my players like write little journals of their characters in character as well.
That's so cute. One of my players did the cop guy. He did that on his own.
Oh.
He just started writing his like detective journal, and I gave him like a whole chat for it so everyone can read it, and we all like look at the chat waiting for him to finish his journal after the session. And he actually posted his final one as that character this morning, and we all got sad about it.
Oh.
Everyone's like really into it.
Yeah, it's good for the other players to see, but also it's great for the DM to give us ideas. So please.
Oh, this guy's giving me so many ideas.
Yeah, because that's what it is really. It's like the DM and the players building a story together, I think. Not just DM directing everybody. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. So just to wrap things up then, is there any shout outs? You already shouted out Charity Top, which is on Twitch. It's also on Discord. If you go to their Twitch channel, you can find a link to their Discord. Is there a Twitter as well?
There is a Twitter. It's also just, let me check. It's charity_top.
Okay.
I will add that to the plethora of links we are collecting.
You will enjoy.
Do people usually link this many things?
Oh yes, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I guess I have my own thing to link. It's a D&D podcast about hold on. It's been a while since I've done it. It's called Welcome to My Dungeon, and we invite a guest, and then we make an adventure based off of like each person brings one thing from the book or homebrew or whatever, or an idea, and then we make a module out of it based off of like a randomly generated plot hook and theme. It's very fun.
That is cool. I
think we only have 1 episode of that now.
That's very interesting. No, because I watched someone else do something very similar. It was another live play folks called High Rollers. Yeah, it was a legit game called, what's it called? It begins with M. But it's a very similar thing. They got post-it notes, right? And the idea is they have to think of first the starting point and the ending point of this like campaign that they were trying to create, like together, and then they would think of important points in time and hooks. And then they would think about the world. They have the idea, but it's more fleshed out. Yeah, it's very similar. It's I can't remember. I have to find that. I'll link that to you personally though.
Okay.
Yeah. One day I will remember. My memory is awful. Okay. Is there any other shout outs you'd like to make?
I think I'm good.
Or in that case, I will let's say goodbye. Let's go goodbye to chat. Goodbye to the stream.
Goodbye. Thanks for listening to me talk for like an hour.
And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for my OBS exploding.
It's not your fault.
It's Mother Nature, because the typhoon is literally passing over Japan right now. It's just flying over there. I cannot control nature. I wish I could. I'd be Storm from X-Men, and that'd be freaking cool. Okay, well, if you could mute and after saying goodbye, and then I will do my outro.
Alright, goodbye everybody. Thanks for hanging out.
And thank you very much too for coming and doing the interview with me.
Oh, no problem.
Okay. Bye. All right, ABS Plus. Alright, so this was very fun. I can talk about D&D every day. I do talk about D&D every day, all day with my mates and my friendos. For those in the stream chat, also thank you very much for popping by and handing out all the questions and also your shared stories. That's really, really good. You can follow the links that like that were posted in the chat, and also if you check out the YouTube video on a later date, hopefully very soon, like in a couple of days, you can find all the links that we're talking about too.